Hello, it's Saturday, June 18th, about 8:30 in the morning, and it's already 90 degrees out. I pretty much have finished working in the yard for today and spent the last hour and a half watering in everything in the backyard. It's supposed to get to a heat index of 110 today. So I've taken a different tactic. I've got all my blinds and drapes closed in the house, and we'll see if that keeps the house any cooler. But in the meantime, I thought I'd take a quick walk around. I have been a little busy doing some stuff here, just sort of cleaning up for the summer. This area I cleaned up last week, and I planted the Spiderwort like I said I would. This Spiderwort is basically just stuck in the ground, and even the 100-degree heat that we've been getting has not been wilting it. Even though I watered it before I watered it, it still looked about the same. So it's pretty resilient stuff. You can see my knockout rose is blooming nicely. I'm going to have to trim it down a little. I don't like to let it get too tall. You can see here some of the fruits on my satsuma tree are starting to ripen. There's a few more up there. I had thousands of them this last fall. Hopefully I won't have quite as many this year. What I wound up having to do is the fruit got so heavy on the trees that it was breaking the branches, or at least bending them to the ground. And I got rid of about 2 garbage bags absolutely full of green satsumas to save the tree, and still had a bumper crop. This is what I've been working on today, is the Aspadistras. It looks a lot better now. Oh, there's baby. She's saying hi. But yeah, the Aspadistras, it's called cast iron plant. It is a house plant in most areas. Well, it can be a house plant everywhere. The Victorians liked it as a house plant. The only problem with Aspadistra is it really has no mechanism for losing its older leaves. New leaves just come up underneath. And to give you an idea of what it looks like, yeah, baby, I hear you. There you see an old leaf. And so what I do, I'm getting too old to cut it, so I just go ahead and yank it out and then go ahead and throw it out. I'll leave it here for now. But that kind of reminds me of a comment that, or something I'd like to comment on. Gertrude Jekyll in England, a celebrated garden writer, had developed the concept of an all-white garden. I've tried it, and if you have laborers that will keep things up for you, I highly recommend it. But the problem with an all-white garden is really it's a white and green garden. And what you'll notice is every yellow leaf, every flower that's past its prime and has started turning yellow or brown. And so if you want to keep the look of a white garden, you have to keep cutting the dead out. So it's quite labor intensive. They don't tell you that when they talk about having, oh, a beautiful white garden. And there's nothing wrong with them. It's a matter of taste. I've had it. It's just too much work for me. This still looks nice. I've cleaned up the Fatsia japonicas today as well. They too have yellow. There's one I should have got this morning. Like I said, the yellow stands out from afar. Not really much has happened here since last time, but it is high summer now, so it's just a matter of keeping the weeds and the shrubs at bay. The male Cycad cone has flopped. It basically has flopped over. If these fronds weren't here, it would be just sort of twisted and pointing downward. In any event, it will, another couple of weeks, I'll just cut it out. Here I cleaned up my ligularias today. That's the one I planted last year from a friend. And this is the one that I got from a nursery earlier this year. I don't know why, but something's eating the leaves. I think it's the dread grasshoppers. I've seen a couple of them back here. And every time I see one, I go after them and kill them like the bugs they are. They're the one thing that apparently birds don't eat. They're great big. They're about 3-4 inches. And they're very voracious. They love these Christmas flowers, amaryllis. Yeah, here you can see it's just green. The Incas are doing pretty well. Even the ones that had died back have come. This one has died, and I'm not going to bother replacing it because the two on either side are growing real lushly, and they'll fill it in. I have to be careful to keep the sun at my back, otherwise you won't be able to see anything. I cleaned this area up as well. And I planted this flower that I got from my neighbor. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's some kind of a green caladium and not a 6-foot-tall elephant ear. If it is, I'll just move it for free. You can't, the price was right. Ooh, the sun is very bright and warm right now. Like I said, it was 90 when I left the house to start this video. Other than that, there's not really much other news. It's just I get my work done early in the mornings, and 9 o'clock I'm pretty much done already. Banana trees are doing extremely well. They're as tall as my crepe myrtles. Oh, and you can see my crepe myrtles have started blooming. I have a pink one on this side of the deck and a white one on the other. The Daturas got a bunch more blossoms again. The fruit still hasn't done much, but I left it anyway. And my frangipani has started sprouting, so I've let it. It's also known as a plumeria. Oh, and I got such satisfaction this week out of this pitcher plant. I was working early in the morning, and a bug must have followed me in, because when I was showering, I swatted at it and maimed it, but didn't kill it. And after I finished showering, I picked it up and I gave it to my pitcher plant. It was very satisfying to drop a semi-live bug into a pitcher plant. By the way, I did get a LED flashlight and shined it through the pitcher so I could make sure the bug was in the bottom. And he was. I don't mind bugs outside. They do have a place in nature, but when they come inside the house, that's where I draw the line. And my other pitcher plant is doing well. I can't say as if I've ever seen anything get trapped in there, but it's still a nice plant. And for some reason, the dragonflies do like to land on those two flowers. Oh, the big thing I did yesterday was I cleaned up my rose garden. I went ahead and got rid of the antirrhinums snapdragons to everyone out there. The British like to call them antirrhinums. In any event, I decided I'd do that because the roses need airflow around them to keep them from getting diseases. So I figured it was better to have just the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roses there. And it's basically a cutting rose garden, so I try to keep them about that height and just let them bush out. And then I went ahead and cut the boxwood hedge, trimmed it up so it's a nice little horseshoe. My plan is someday, should I live long enough, is I'd like to put my steps here and walk down into my yard through this archway. Those camellias were started years ago. They're a red camellia that is striped white. And I had them as a hedge at first. And as they got taller, they had a little spot in between the two that I thought was a nice little niche. So I started putting the little statue in there. And gradually I kept limbing it up and trying to keep it as an archway. And so every year I take out 1 or 2 of the taller branches, and I can pretty much walk under it now, but I have to duck once. So another couple of years I'll be able to walk through there. But I do like it in the meantime. But that's about it. I just wanted to take you on a tour before the heat kicks in today. This is from underneath my banana trees. They're way up overhead now. Of course, one big storm and it's going to break most of the leaves off, but enjoy them while you can. It won't kill the plant, they'll come back again, but right now the leaves look kind of perfect. Okay, have a good day.